My parents are selling the house they bought with our inheritance, but they refuse to give me my share of the money. Am I wrong? This was 1999. I grew up very poor. My four sisters and I shared one bedroom. Our school shopping involved going through what our sisters outgrew and fighting over what fit. Most days, the only meals we had were school food. When it got cold, we didn't buy jackets. We borrowed them from the lost and found. Things started changing when I, the oldest sibling, was about 11. My mom got a better job, and my stepdad bought his retired boss's equipment at a discount and started his own business. For the first time ever, we had some money coming in. Instead of taking care of the kids and the household needs, my parents bought a motorcycle and a bunch of leather clothes. They started using drugs, drinking too much, and partying. Life went downhill. They were in and out of jail. Police were raiding the house. They had a few wake-up calls and wanted a change. They started saving up to buy a place and move away from all the chaos they had created. But it wasn't really possible until we came into some money from inheritance. It's pretty sad, but we lost my stepdad's mother, my stepsister's grandparents on her mom's side, and my grandfather in about 7 months. There was a pretty decent chunk of inheritance. Each of us siblings inherited about 10-12 KDARs. My parents inherited too. They ended up using all their inheritance to buy a new work truck, a cooler motorcycle, and to fix their meth teeth. They got all their teeth pulled and full implants, despite the fact that none of us had ever been to the dentist before. In fact, nearly all my stepsister's baby teeth had rotted out. We were ragamuffin poor. This was when our parents sat us down and gave us the plan. We could all pool our money and get a house. They said, "Let's be real. None of us are going to college, but a house could change our lives. Getting out of the ghetto, away from the tweakers and crackheads, into better schools, a safe, clean environment. We could have our own rooms." And back then, that money stretched further. It was enough to get us a really good place and a bunch of household necessities. They bought a big, comfortable house that felt like a palace to us at a big discount because the owners didn't even put it on the market yet. It was a cute old empty nest couple that wanted a family to love the home. And all those first years, my parents were like, "You girls did it. This is all from you." The big seller on this was that when my parents sat us down to talk about this, they kept saying stuff like, "It'll stay in the family. We'll own a home, so when we get older and one day pass, you'll have an inheritance. You can sell it together and split it, and it will be worth more in the future. You get back more than you're putting in, or you can all stay here. However you girls want to do it." They bought that house in 1999 for $240K. It's now worth $1.4 million, and now all their kids are grown, their grandkids are getting older, and they want to sell. I stayed in this damn city for them. My sisters married, had kids, and moved away to other states. My parents have health issues. I stayed and lived nearby to help them. My dad has lupus, and my mom has stage 4 cancer. They're struggling now to stay in the house. They tell me now that they plan to sell it and use the money to buy a place near my sister, multiple states away, where it's cheaper, and live off the money. I told them, great, I'm happy for them that they're going to still be close to family. And I told them that works out for me too because my son's going to be in college next year, and that money will really be helpful. And my parents were like, "LOL, what money?" I'm like, "The money I inherited that you used to buy the house." And they just looked at me like I was insane and said, "You lived here. You got a roof over your head. We don't owe you anything. If this wasn't a lifetime of having expected something back, it would be different." But I'm genuinely upset. This was the first time they had said anything about not giving any of us anything back. It's not like I wanted interest, but just the original amount. From $1.4 million they're selling for, that's nothing. And my sisters are acting like I'm being so entitled, thinking they should pay me after selling. They don't remember anything about inheritance or pooling it together for them. They were really little then, but I remember it, and my parents aren't denying it. I'm honestly even more upset that I stayed here in this overpriced city I can barely afford, raised my son here on my meager budget, so I could be there to help them when none of our siblings or family was around. I could have left like my sisters did, gotten really nice places at affordable prices. But I stayed until my son is an adult to make sure they had the support that I thought a family should give their aging and ill parents. And then they turn around and tell me, "Well, you aren't as well off as your sisters." That's why you're entitled and think you deserve money, because they all have nice places and you're renting a duplex, so you think you need it more, but you just need to work harder. I work 2 jobs, drive Uber, raise my son, and nearly 4 days a week still come to do their cooking and cleaning and laundry and pay for their medications. My sisters don't even have jobs. They haven't seen my parents in over a decade. I don't think I'm entitled to it for staying and helping them. I don't think I'm entitled to it because I need that money and I'm trying to make up reasons why they owe me. I feel like I'm entitled to it because that's the reason I gave them my entire inheritance in the first place, because they said we'd get it back. I really don't think I'm wrong for expecting that and being upset that they've suddenly changed the plan. And to be real honest with you all, I thought that was the point, that we all really came together and changed as a family and became better. But I think it was never a choice, to begin with. I think they made us feel like it was a choice, but they would have taken that money even if we didn't agree about it. If I wanted to save it for school and college, or towards getting my own place when I moved out, at 16, because they ended up in jail again, and I ended up in foster care and they took my sisters back but not me, so I left and got a job and rented a room. I believe they'd play the same game of being confused and asking why I thought I deserved that money and find out it went to the family. I now feel pretty stupid for thinking that under any circumstances we would have seen that money. Am I wrong?